When are game studios going to learn that if you touch Sweet Baby Inc., you're risking failure, utter failure? Like 2024 is a year of fuck you, Sweet Baby Inc. And it's been a disaster for them since the whole incident with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, where Cabrutus Rambo made that Steam curator list, calling them out in every single game that they've ever had hands on. You know, if they never tried to target harass Cabrutus and shut down his Steam account, they probably would have been okay. They probably would have been able to skirt by still. But no, that just caused a Streisand effect that the repercussions are still being felt to today. And right here's the newest example. Another Sweet Baby Inc. failure. Hyperlight Breaker developer lays off staff ahead of game's early access release. Ahead of the early access release. How in the bloody hell is that possible? Like, what? How big of a failure do you got to be? So, I never even heard of this game. Apparently, it was one of the projects that was on Sweet Baby Inc.'s main website where they show their clients. That has all been taken down. But Heart Machine is the developer behind this game, Hyper Light Breaker, which was worked on by Sweet Baby Inc., and it's announced it's already laying off its staff before the game releases to early access. This was a report from James Batchelor at Games Industry, who revealed the company dismissed a portion. You have to like that word, right? A portion of its workforce, although it's unclear which departments this has affected. The company's community manager, Yiyi Zhang, claimed that the layoffs will not affect Hyper Light Breaker's release, which that's interesting enough. Zhang even appeared to imply that laid off employees might be able to rejoin the company depending on the game's success. Spoiler alert. It's not going to do successful. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to laugh about people getting their jobs terminated. But as we've seen, even Batman and DC can't save Sweet Baby Inc. games. This game I'd never even heard of until today is definitely not going to be able to be successful. And you know what? Let's take Sweet Baby out of the equation. What about Concord with Firewalk Studios? What about Dustborn with Red Thread Games? I mean, the list goes on in 2024. People are tuning out of woke, okay? that's what it comes down to. So Zhang said, in fact, a strong and timely launch will rekindle opportunities for those affected as we look to evolve and grow the game throughout early access. Basically, what this comes down to is they spent most of their money hiring Sweet Baby Inc. That's what it comes down to, because Sweet Baby Inc. makes you pay huge fucking fees for them to come and twist your narrative around so that it's politically correct, so that it fits their woke activism, so it fits their ideologies, their agenda. All these companies are literally wasting money paying Sweet Baby Inc. to be involved, because Kim Belair doesn't do jack and shit except Mega Games failure amendment. Now, going on, this article says Hyper Light Breaker was one of the games that Embracer Group retained after it sold off Gearbox to Take-Two Interactive Software Inc. back at the end of March. The game had also been added to the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam Curator group, given Sweet Baby Inc. revealed it had worked on the game in regards to world building, story structure, and character development. And you know what's funny? For all these woke activists that are journos like Mercante, where they say Sweet Baby doesn't do exactly what I think they do, that sounds like they're doing a lot to the game development. I've heard people say, well, they don't make the games. They don't make the game. No, if you're working and making changes to world building, story structure, and character development, you're involved heavily in the development of the game. So these are announced projects that were on Sweet Baby Inc.'s website. This is no longer there last time I checked. They revamped everything. They hid everything because a lot of these developers are just getting failure after failure. I think to the point where nobody wants to publicly announce that they're involved with Sweet Baby Inc. anymore. In fact, there was a rumor going around that they're just going to keep quiet about it. They're not going to mention anything about DEI, even if it's in the game, which is a bold move. I've played a good chunk of these games, like Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok, Sable, Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 2 was all right, give or take a couple cringe things that were in the game. God of War Ragnarok was all right as well. But, you know, a lot of these games I've never even heard of, and a lot of them are colossal failures, like Suicide Squad, which is now $5 on sale in the Epic Games Store. You couldn't pay me to pay that. But that's the one that essentially kicked off what is Gamergate 2, right? Because everybody got triggered over Kabrutus's Steam curator list and everybody knocking the game, and Kim Belair had sand in her vagina, and then Chris Kindred came out, and one thing led to another. Listen, Mercante wrote an article defending them that was pretty fucking cringe, and now we're where we're at. We are where we're at with this whole situation. So here's some interesting facts about Hyper Light Breaker. I want to say Hyper Light Drifter because that's an actual game. Is expected to go into release early access on Steam sometime in 2025. So sometime. Alex Preston, the founder and creative director at Heart Machine, shared in a post to Steam in August. After much evaluation and many conversations with our publisher, Arc Games, we decided that we need just a little more time to get the gameplay experience polished to our standards. Therefore, we're now looking at an early access launch date of very early next year. We don't want to ship a project, even in early access, that we're not satisfied with on a number of fronts, especially in the current state of the industry. We need to put a good foot forward as we can, which this all sounds fine and dandy, good intentions. They want to put a good game out. It's just very sad that this is going to backfire for them because Sweet Baby's involved. And I know to some people that sounds very petty. To some people, oh, the casual gamer doesn't care about Sweet Baby and whether DEI is involved. No, they do. They do. That's why everything's failing. All right? That's why everything fails. Now, continuing on, this says the game is likely dead on arrival as nearly all the games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on throughout 2024, and that's good. That's a fact. Now, Tales of Kenzura Zao, which oddly enough is nominated for an award at the Game Awards, but is a colossal failure that's lost money. Unknown 9 Awakening, another studio that is literally laying people off. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I can't even remember the last time anything notable was mentioned about that game, but they couldn't even get people to play it. And Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. All games that were the opposite of bangers, guys. Like none of these contributed anything positive to the gaming industry. If anything, they made a lot of people lose jobs. They costed a lot of studios a lot of fucking money. They got a lot of fucking content creators like myself fat wallets from burying the games for sure. But overall, nothing positive came out of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement with any of these games other than literally making people lose their jobs because of what? Activism? Oh, well, it's because you rage bait grifters have to cry about, what you feel you're entitled to. Well, yeah, that's how being a consumer works, right? You're allowed to give an opinion on stuff, even if it's not catered to you. You're allowed to vote with your wallet. You're allowed to boycott. You're allowed to review stuff badly. We don't have to just sit here and consume because it's not catered for us, right? So, yeah, very interesting. It's not even in early access yet, and they're laying off employees. This is not a good sign. I don't care how they're trying to spin it. Imagine putting your work and effort into a game and everything all of a sudden just comes to an end because the studio's doomed to fail. It's almost like they're prepping, right? They're laying people off ahead of time because they're going to lose money. Like, I get it. Maybe this is a competent studio that is planning ahead, and it's well wishing to be like, oh, maybe the game will do good. But no, I'm almost willing to bet that this game's probably not even going to be able to get 100 people playing it. I'll be nice. 1,000 people playing it. We'll look on Steam database. Bet we want to get 1,000 people playing it. Because even on Steam, Star Wars Outlaws by Ubisoft, a fucking Star Wars game, barely got over 1,600 players the second day after their fucking Steam launch. This game that I've never heard about, from a studio I've never heard about. No offense to any of them. I'm not trying to downplay or big league a studio. I'm sure they're all excellent people that worked hard on this video game. But people are losing their jobs. And again, it's the common denominator here. It's Sweet Baby Inc. that's involved. And you get all these activists that cosplay as journalists trying to defend Sweet Baby Inc. Like everybody criticizing them is the problem instead of Sweet Baby Inc. And that's where the real problem is. It's everybody shilling for this company that provides no benefit except to their agenda for the gaming industry. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, take care.